welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have enjoyed my past 3 videos. I have enjoyed myself making them, so I hope that they've helped some way or another, or at least entertained you. Today I'm gonna kind of talk about grief and how to cope with grief and how to deal with it in a positive way. Just how to live with it, you know? It's something that I've gone through. It's something that I know a lot of people go through when it comes to losing a loved one or losing somebody you really cared about or just losing somebody close to you. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because when I was going through it, I really didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to hear anything that anybody had to say, but I feel like if I would have had something like this to look at on my own time and to stop when I was not ready to hear it, or some kind of advice that I could have controlled, then it would have helped me, you know? So I feel like if I needed something like this, I know there's somebody out there who's gonna watch this and feel better, or just get an idea of what happens 3 years later or in the future. Because when you go through losing somebody, you don't really think about the future. You don't think about anything else but that moment, and it's really the end of the world. Or that's what you feel. So my video is just for you out there who needs somebody to understand you, or just a piece of advice that you can control. I was a little bit skeptical about doing it or about the topic, but I figured that it's something that I just want to do. It's something that I just want to get off my chest. It's something that I just want to put out there. So let's just get into it. About 3 years ago, I lost my dad to cancer. It's very confusing, especially when it's somebody so close to you. Like, for example, for me, it was my dad. It was somebody that I never thought I would lose before I was like 60. I don't know, for some reason we feel like our parents are gonna live forever. So that was my idea, you know, that he was gonna live forever and nothing like this was gonna happen, and what, like, so my initial reaction to how everything went down was just confusion. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to do. If you haven't gone through something like this, then you probably won't understand, and you probably can't relate to those feelings that you get. It may seem weird that, you know, my initial reaction wasn't sadness, but it was. It was an overwhelming sense of confusion. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why it was going on, and I didn't know why it was happening to me or to my family. I didn't know. I didn't get it. I didn't understand, and that created a lot of anger. I was pissed. I was pissed at the world. I was pissed at everybody, at everything. I was pissed. I didn't want to hear from anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to just deal with it, you know? So my scapegoat was to just act like nothing was wrong, you know? I just act like I was fine, like just jump right into back into my routine, not even think about it, not even talk about it. Like if somebody even gave me the slightest glance of pity, I would run. I didn't want to deal with it. That was then. If I could talk to myself now, if I could talk to myself 3 years ago, I would tell myself to just relax. You know, I mean, everybody knows that death is coming. That's just how it is. We don't know when it's coming. We don't know how. We don't know anything but that it's coming. So my advice to myself would just be to just relax. You know, not to be so pissed off. Because being pissed off only made me bitter, made me angry, made me lose track of the days, made me not care. And that's not the person that my dad raised. So why am I acting like this, you know? I mean, back then I didn't know. That's just how I was dealing with it. Before I lost my dad, I've never lost anybody close to me, you know? My friends had, but you don't know what it's like until it happens to you, you know? So when it happened to me, I was just like pissed. But my advice to you, if you're going through this and it's fresh and it just happened, it would just be to realize that death happens and it's nothing personal. You know, it's nothing against you. It just happens. It just happened to be your loved one's time, and it just happens. So just relax and breathe and know that everything is going to be fine, you know? It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for a long time. The hurt never goes away. But you have to learn to you have to live with it. So I would say just smile through it. Just be happy. Just be the happy person that your loved one knew, or that your loved one raised, or that your loved one loved to be around. You know, don't be so hard on yourself, because it's not your fault. You couldn't have stopped it. You couldn't have done anything to change the path. That's just destiny. That's just God's plan. So I would just say relax. Another thing, when it comes to advice, when it comes to people trying to talk to you, when it comes to all the things that are going to be thrown at you, because for me, everything was thrown at me. Like, people wanting to tell me their experience, people wanting to talk to me, people giving me advice, therapists, like anything you can think of was thrown at me. And I was just like, no. I was just like, leave me alone. For some reason, as weird as this sounds, I wish I would have talked to somebody. Preferably somebody that had nothing to do with me. Like, as I know, like there's this stigma about therapists and like going to see a therapist and all this, but I feel like it would have helped me. Why? Because they don't know me. They don't know about me. They're not going to judge me. They don't know my family. They don't know what happened. They don't know anything. They're just there to listen to you. And that's really what I needed. I just needed somebody to listen to me. Somebody to just shut up and just listen to me. I didn't want any advice. I didn't want to hear anything. Just somebody to listen to me. I just needed to get it out. Yeah. At that time, I was playing tennis. I was playing a lot of tennis. I was playing competitive tennis. So I was 80% of the time I was on the tennis court or doing something related. So the stress that I was feeling was being released because I was working out, because I was moving, because I was doing physical activity, and that releases your stress a lot. So if you are going through something like this and you don't want to talk to anybody and you just don't feel like you're comfortable with letting people in, I would say find something to do. If you're not like the sport person, if you just can't deal with it, find something to do. Find a hobby, like paint. You can write. Writing down my feelings really helped me. Writing down what I was feeling and then just leaving it alone. You just have to find something to help you get that out. Because if you just bottle it in and you just keep it bottled in and you never heal or you never address those feelings, then you're going to be stuck in there, and then it's going to bring problems in your future relationships, and it's just not going to make you happy. You know, and like I keep saying, the person that you lost wouldn't want to see you unhappy. They wouldn't want to see you bitter. They wouldn't want to see you snapping at your family. They wouldn't want to see that kind of side, like that side of you. They would want you to be happy. They would want you to just rejoice life. Because honestly, if there's anything that I learned from losing my dad, is that life is way too short. And it does not give you a warning. Like, when your time comes, it comes and it goes. There's no warning. There's no notification. There's nothing. It just happens. So you can't spend your life after that loss just being bitter, just thinking about it, just being sad, just being torn apart from it. As long as you stay active or you stay doing something that you love, you're going to feel better. Because the stress of losing somebody not only affects you mentally, but it starts affecting your body. You know, depression is a serious thing. Like, once your mind is just down and out, your body's going to start to follow, you know? So you don't want that. You don't want to just lose yourself like that. So like I said, find something to do that's going to help you release the stress. It may be really hard to talk to your family about it, especially if it's a family member that you lost, because they're going through it too. You know, everybody is trying to keep a a strong facade, but everybody's going through their own battle because everybody lost somebody as well. You know what I mean? Like, I lost my dad, my sister lost her dad, my mom lost her husband, my uncle lost his brother. Everybody lost him. So everybody's going through their own battle, you know? So it might be really hard to talk to your family about it, but I would say do it. I would say, even if you can't talk, even if you just cry together, do it. It's healthy. It brings you guys together and it lets that stress out. Because that's the idea here. The idea here is to just minimize your stress, because it starts to affect you. So if you and your family don't have that close of a bond, now is the time. Now is the time to get tight. Now is the time to be there for each other. Even, like I said, even if you just sit there and look at each other and cry, at least you're in each other's company and you're feeling that bond and you're releasing that stress. Another thing. Okay, so as soon as it happened, I really talking about it, letting somebody share their experience with you will make you feel better, because you'll feel the connection and you'll feel like you're not alone. Because when something like this happens, you feel alone. No matter how many family members you have, you still feel alone. Or no matter who else knew that person, or no matter how many people come to the funeral, or how many people reach out and give you their condolences, you still feel alone. You feel like nobody understands, and it's just you. So you to share and to let people share with you, it makes you feel better. So I would recommend that. Now, I don't have the answers on how to get out of it, or because you get into this funk as soon as it happens. I mean, it's understandable because you just lost somebody you don't understand. So you get into this funk of just sadness, and then after the sadness, it's just numbness. You just get numb and you just don't feel. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the formula on how to get out of it, but what I can tell you is how I got out of it, and how I turned that loss into not a positive thing, but helped me go in a positive route. Don't try to numb the pain. Don't do it. Like alcohol, drugs, negative things, anger. Don't try to numb the pain in a negative way. Why? Because it's only going to bring you down. You know what I mean? Like, numbing the pain or doing bad things or doing toxic things to your body and to your mind is not going to help you, and it's not going to bring them back. So my advice to you is just steer clear of anything that's going to numb you, because you don't want to be numb. You want to face the reality. You want to face what happened. You want to face it and just deal with it, because it's reality and it happened to you. So the best way to cope with it, to get out of it, to come out stronger, is to face it. Just face it face forward. Don't try to get answers, because there's no answers. You know? Only God has the answers. So don't try to fight for answers, because there's no answers. Nobody has the answer. Just face what happened and let it push you. Let it fuel you in the direction that you want to go. For example, for me, when this happened, I was in a stage in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, I was in college. I didn't know what was going on. I played tennis my whole life, and I was in college for tennis. So I didn't know where I was going. I knew that tennis wasn't going to be forever, because I just wasn't, my heart wasn't into it like that. My mind was just like, do it. I mean, you're good at it and it got you here, might as well do it. But my passion wasn't there. Like, for me to go professional and for me to go through everything that it takes to be a professional, my heart wasn't in it. So I knew I was going to be very unhappy. I was already very unhappy just playing college tennis. And it was something that I struggled with. It was something that I couldn't face, because I was like, wow, all my life playing tennis and now I'm here and I don't want to do it anymore. Like, what a failure. That's how I felt. So when this happened to me, it was just like a light bulb turned on. Like I said, I was just like, whoa, life can end really fast. Doesn't matter who you are. It can strike and you're done. So when that happened to me, I decided, you know what? I'm done. I'm not gonna fake like tennis is it, because it wasn't for me. You know, and at first I was nervous of quitting or going in my different path, because I was nervous of what people were gonna think. I was nervous of how they were gonna judge me, or I was nervous of my mom being mad at me for all these years just throwing away. I was just nervous. You know, it was like education part, like not for free, but very cheap. Like it was just, tennis had a lot of perks, and I was very afraid of stepping away because I was afraid of letting people down. But when that happened to me, I realized it's not about other people. Like it's about me, it's about my life, it's about where I want to go. So my passion was fashion. I had a passion for fashion. I just loved shopping. Like in college, you know, you don't have anything to do, and your parents transfer you money. So if I wasn't at practice or something tennis related, I was at the mall. I was at Plato's Closet. I was shopping. I was making my own things. I was cutting up shirts. I was doing something fashion related, and it made me happy. It helped me release my stress. Creating clothes or creating something and then wearing it and then getting compliments and then asking like, where'd you get it? That just made me feel amazing. That was just like, it was something I was very passionate about. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna follow my dream. It sounds easier, and I know people say it all the time about following your dreams, but it's not as easy as it sounds, and it's scary, and it's like stepping into oblivion and you don't know what's gonna happen. But with life being so short, you have to go for it. So that's what I did. I just quit the team and came home. And the funny thing about it is, once I made my decision that this is what I was going to do, things just start falling into place for me to do them. You know what I'm saying? Like when I decided to quit the team around the same time, like literally probably in the same week, some things happened to where I was off the team. And it just showed me like, wow, you know, once you made up your mind, God is just gonna help you. And at the time, I'm not gonna say that the way things ended with tennis were the best ways, but it was the way it was supposed to happen, and it led me on the path that I am today. So after I was done with tennis and I was out, the freedom, and turned out nobody was mad at me. My mom understood, my mom supported me, nobody was mad at me. All the stuff that I put in my head about everybody's gonna be disappointed, blah, 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 nothing like that happened. Like I said, a pathway just opened. You know, I came home, I went straight to fashion school. Then I met my two best friends, and now like my husband to be, and we made something together. We created this amazing company that now like has us on this amazing path. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to just give you my life story, but what I'm trying to say is, when you're down and out, don't give up. Don't give up. Just face it. Face forward. Just like, this is like a figure of speech, but just like grab your balls and just like face it. Just get through it, you know? Don't try to numb the pain. Don't try to hide from it. Don't try to run from it. Just face it. Because running from it is only prolonging the process. And I don't know how old you are, and I don't know if you've realized it yet, but time is ticking. So why spend it down? Why spend it being hard on yourself? Why spend it negatively when you can spend it positively, when you can launch your life? You can, just like that, you can start your life. You can take that negative situation and help it fuel you and help it make you realize that time is ticking and that life is short, and start. Just go for it. I'm telling you, it's so liberating. It feels amazing. It makes you feel like you're unstoppable, and it's just amazing. Of course, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Like, there'll be days when you're down. There'll be days when you'll be like, why did I do this? There'll be days where you just question everything. But know that you made the right decision and that those days are just days, and you'll be okay. You're gonna be alright. As long as you smile through it and you just face it and you just know that this person that was here on earth but is now in heaven is rooting for you, is pushing you, is still there for you, you can do anything. So yeah, I'm getting like all emotional because it's true. I'm not just blabbing, like this is real life, you know? And the loss of somebody can be used to fuel your path. It can be used to make you a happier person. It can be used to help you see that life is short. I keep repeating this, but it's so true. Okay, I think that's enough for right now. But I hope that this helped you. I hope that, you know, if you paused me halfway because you couldn't take it, it's fine. The video will still be here and you can watch it on your own time and nobody has to know. But just know that you're not alone. I understand. I've been through it. And it gets better. It gets better. It never goes away. Their memory never goes away. If you're a spiritual person, or like if you go off energies, you'll feel them around you. You'll know that they're there. There'll be certain things that happen that you're like for me, I'll be like, that was my dad. Like I know that, like that's the only explanation. So just know that they're still there. They may not be physically there, but you can always talk to them and you'll feel them. And they'll help steer you in the right path. So all you have to do is listen. All you have to do is be strong and face it. And that's how you'll build from it, and that's how you'll become a stronger person, and that's how you'll let it fuel you instead of bring you down. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your amazing feedback. If you want to talk to me, comment, message, I'm here and I understand. Thank you guys. See you next time.